Pressing on here with a Dodge. I started hooking my turn signals up inside, and they both came on at the same time. So I took my things apart. And found out that I had the running lights hooked to the ground and vice versa. So I hooked the ground up. I tested one of them. The turn signal does come on. So I'll go ahead and re-button this wires back up here. Put my turn signal back on and press on with the wiring. Well, I got that sorted out. My left is working right. My flashers are working. I've got this this light here to just put enough load on it to flash it. So that's all working good. Now I can put my wiring harness in here and hook up the rears. At least the front is wired correctly. Press on. Well, I got my rear turn signals hooked up here. Looks like my green and black on the tail lights are the brake lights. I got them both hooked up. I got a yellow here for left and a brown here. So looks like I've got the wires hooked up right. Now we gotta press on and get the tail lights hooked up. Flash slow. Well, here's the final tail lights. Turn signal's on, tail lights working. Now I just have to shorten up my wires, fix it in the dash up there, and I'm done with this. Here we go, done. Got the turn signals, everything all wired up, front and back, headlights and tail lights. I got the parking lights here. They're good. And if I turn on the key, got my left turn signal working, and it's working up here, and that's the bright one. And the other one works the same. We'll take a look at the back. I'll put it to the right. So our right one is working. Both tail lights are on. I got it pretty well cleaned up in here. Needs to be covered with some of that, you know, wrinkly wire stuff, or what you call it, protector. But anyway, this is all good. Everything works. Automatic flashers work. Of course, headlights work. And it all runs off the key. So that's a done deal on the wiring. I still got some of that stuff there in the middle, but over here this looks pretty clean. And I've got it pretty clean right here. It's again, you know, you can put a big piece of stuff over this or whatever. I'm just running the wires, prettying it up. Not my deal. I still have one ground left over there where that red wire is, but that'll be pretty easy. I'll just jump it in there. Need to put a clamp on the top radiator hose, put water in it. Should be ready to drive. Finish mounting this radiator up a little bit, but I should be able to get that done tomorrow. And I'll get this thing out of here. kind of got some water. Tomorrow's supposed to not rain again, but I'll get this thing fired up and turned around, and that way my fender here is the one that I got to work on. Maybe I'll just leave it right here because my welders got pretty short leads. Maybe I'll just leave it here. I don't have to turn it around. I get this fender welded on. That new welder is super good. It burned right through 1/4 inch plate. I got it on the bare minimum settings, and I think it's going to be too powerful for sheet metal. Maybe I have to buy another one, but it's going to be really good for welding frames and 1/4 inch stuff. It's a nice welder. Replaced the one that got stolen, but it'll be enough to weld the brackets. I got to weld one of these front fender brackets to the frame there, and I got some stuff to cut and weld back here. Anyway, I'll know about that when I start putting this running board on here tomorrow. But phones have been driving me crazy. House closed escrow today, and well, it will tomorrow. We're supposed to sign the papers tomorrow. So this thing's almost done. If I can get a couple more days, I think I can put this fender on in 2 days. Hope so. I'm going to try to do it before it starts raining. And of course, you know, phone's been driving me crazy. I'm trying to sell my trailer too, and I got it up for nothing, $2,000. Yeah, it's probably worth 7 or 8, but I don't care. I just want to get rid of it. Anyway, this is all done, wired up. I still have some wires to clean up here for my horn and stuff. I'll run them in there. I'm not going to try to hook up horn. Finish. This fender needs to be welded on, and I got a front bracket, but all the sideboard there's done. So really I've got to just weld this fender up, put the other one on, cut the floorboard, and this will be a done project as far as I'm concerned. There might be little stuff inside, but not really. The brakes work, the gas works. Oh, I have to clean up those wires there a little bit. But everything is not used. I'll just wind it up and zip tie it. But it all looks good. It starts real easy. Oh, I don't think you've heard it start, but we'll see. The throttle's a little high. Stops real good, got a good compression, fires right up. Yeah, the carburetor's pumping plenty of gas in it. It's gonna be badass. I think what he should do is get a set of wheelie bars and put on the back, you know, about 3 foot long, something like that, and put a parachute over the top of that Ford. That way you could leave the tailgate and stuff. It's a rat rod. Ford tailgate, Ford bed, homemade fenders, Dodge body. I was thinking about taking a big wine barrel, putting it in the back, and then that gas tank and stuff could go in there, or a bigger one. Anyway, that's enough for today. So like and subscribe. I'm no bad Chad, but I move along. Now I'm back here on the Dodge. Got this front fender on here. Got a couple bolts in it there to the cowl. That's all looks good. Got it set about where it's supposed to go. I put this running board in. I'm missing about 6-7 inches. I can't find the other piece, but I got to cut a hole there for that stake pocket to go in, and it's hitting the header right here. I got to cut that so it'll go in. I've got it set where it matches the hood line pretty good. I just got it clamped together there now, but it looks pretty good. Then I'll have to put some braces in it, stretch that bottom out a little, but it's on, and I can make it fit a little better, and then just start welding brackets on here. I think this will be a fairly easy deal to do. Well, I got the fender marked and I threw a little weld on it, burned some holes in it. I haven't really practiced with this welder. This is a new one. It's a 250. It's really powerful. That was on the minimum setting, and I didn't have my helmet with me, so that was all blind. So anyway, it's tacked on. I got my thing cut out there, and I just cut the post off so the fender would go under it. But now my fender's where it goes, I can still move it around this way, you know. I may have to cut a little more out of that, I don't know. I'll try to measure the other one, see how far I got from the fender to the ground, and make this one the same. I can't really do much of that back place because you can see it's moving everything around. But that'll be my next step to get the fenders right. I don't have any brackets. It's just bolted there in the front and welded right there at the back. Anyway, move on with this. Well, I got Mr. Fender on. I just welded a piece of angle iron in there. I have to put some a piece on that brace there and bring it up to the top of the fender. Weld a couple pieces in that so it all looks good. And then I got the two inside braces. I have to make one here, figure out how to put that other one on in front. But it's bolted good here, and once I fix these bottom pieces, they'll be solid. I'll just make a piece there out of sheet metal, and that'll do that. Another good day here, and I'll have this all done. Well, there's my bracket on and welded up. I've got the floorboard pretty straight. I found another old piece like that and cleaned it up, welded it on. I was gonna weld the fender on completely, but it's really only welded right there, so that'd be pretty easy for somebody to cut. Everything else will be bolted on. It's all bolted here. I just have to put the 2 brackets under here in the middle, and that should do it for the floorboard. Moving along, almost done. Well, I'm back here on the 37. I got this bracket in here. It's just holding the bumper away. I would have bolted it, but don't have time, so I just welded it here to the frame. Not a real great weld. It's welded good on top, but basically we're just trying to keep it from moving. That's pretty good. I got it 20 inches away from the frame, so the tire clears it. Good enough for that brace. You know, this one's going to be a different story altogether. I've got it vice gripped up there where one bolt hole goes. It goes over the frame, so I'm going to have to cut that where it clears the frame. And I've got it here. I've got a couple inches there. Not really going to get any more until I get that cut off of there, and then I'll have to weld some kind of bracket on the frame there to weld this brace to. Just have to pull it out, cut it off, try it again, trial and error, and see what I can get done. Well, I weld the hell out of that. Probably have a different brace. That top brace, I didn't get it in there, but it goes through the radiator mount there, and it lines up to the bolt. I put a bolt here in the middle, and of course a bolt here on the outside, and it's good and solid. These bolts could be just painted black or something, but it's plenty good. I'm going to step on it here. You can see it's moving a little bit. It actually needs to have a bolt right there into that bracket. I put the brackets on before I jacked up this. So what happened when I got this fender on in the right place, it raised it above the bracket. I'm going to try to put one long bolt in there. I just don't know where yet, but this is all in and solid, and I know how much I gotta cut off of my other piece. I don't know where it's right there. Quite a mess, huh? But that's a done deal on this front bracket. And now I can cut that one up, modify it, and bolt it into this one. This one's got the back bracket in it already, but now I know where it gets welded to the frame. I can get that done tomorrow, and then I don't have a lot left, just some cleaning up. Now I'm going to try to bore that there where that drill is, put one more bolt in it. Well, here we are on the 37. I got this other fender brace in. I cut it the same as the other one, but it was about an inch short, so I welded plate in and just burned a big mess into there. But the top bracket there looks like it's it'll move around, and it can be bolted into the radiator and this one for the fenders, good and strong. I got 2 bolts in it. They're about an inch lower than the other side. The other one's about here somewhere. But it's in and super strong. It ain't moving at all. Not even a little bit. I forgot where that clamp is there. I had actually made another bracket to bolt the inside of this fender. It's you can see there what I did. I've got another piece of that pipe. I think I'm gonna go over to the other side and see if I can't make another one, because this makes it just solid as a rock. And that's also kind of holding all of that radiator and stuff together. This is the stock bracket that I put in here. It's all welded in and bolted. It looks like I've got this fender clamped here. I think what I'm going to do is clean this up and just run a spot of weld down in there. Try to I was gonna bore a hole in it and put a bolt in it, but I think I'll just weld it and let it go for now. Somebody can always cut it out and redo it. Well, I just welded that in about 1.5 inches, just enough to keep the thing from flopping around. This fender now is super solid. All this running board's solid. Everything's real good. Looks like the light's killing my camera. Anyway, check the other side out. Well, here we go. I got the wires kind of tidied up and the seat tack welded in there. Floorboards are on good and solid. I got the hose clamps on it up front. I just threw the tarp in it. It looks pretty good. But I started it up and it moves back and forth. Brakes are kind of bad, but those drums under there, these discs, were really rusty. It'll take quite a bit of stopping to clean those up. Main thing, it will stop and start. What I got to do now is make some kind of a radiator mount there to keep it from wiggling around. I've got the wires pretty much all buttoned up, and call this done. Well, it's not really done by any means, but it'll run and drive, start and stop, and that's the deal I made the guy. Still got most of the wiring's done: headlights, brake lights, tail lights. There's a lot of extra wires in there if he wants to put the gauges in, and you know, whatever. It's a 21 circuit and I probably used 6 or 7 of them, so there's a lot left. But fabricate my radiator mount here and I'll call it quits for today. Well, it should go back and forth under its own power. You got no way to hold the camera. Maybe prop it up here. Not really very good setup. Don't particularly want to drop my phone. Well, hopefully it worked. So it is going back and forth. Like I said, brakes are not very good. They got better as I went back and forth on it a few times. But actually those discs are really rusty. They need to be cleaned up. But it's running and driving. Transmission's good. I think I'll just cover it up, finish it up tomorrow. Well, I'm sanding away on the brakes here. I got this one cleaned up pretty good down to metal. I used a DA and a flapper wheel. Got them cleaned up pretty good. Can't get to the inside one. I'm not going to pull the brakes off to try to do that. I'll just clean up the outside on both of them. That should make it stop a little better. They were cleaned up pretty good just from driving it back and forth the other day, but this, well, here's this one done. Looks pretty good, turns good. So put the wheels back on it and try to drive this thing. Well, there it is. Drove it up and down the parking lot. Steers good. Stops good. I had a funny noise, but it's emergency brake cable dragging. I'll tie that thing up, and we'll try to get a video of it going back and forth. He's playing with that thing. Pretty good old truck. Got to go all the way to park. Pump it a little bit. Got to pump it a little bit. Just back it straight up. Just back it straight up.
Ah, dang it.
Pump it. Yeah, that's a radical cam in that